So I think this will help you having this recording available just to refer back since you're not here in person for both of you to be able to giving each other in-person Reiki and to be able to answer some questions and then also to help solidify some of the topics that we've discussed over the last 2 days. And we're almost done with our 1 and 2 class. And this will just be a resource for you that I will send to you after class. And so I want you to remember that when you have set an appointment for a Reiki client to come to you, or you're going to them, that you spend some time preparing yourself, giving yourself Reiki. If they're coming to you, that you clear the energy in your space and fill it with loving Reiki energy. You can draw all of the symbols that you are connected to into the walls, the ceiling, the floor before they arrive, sending distance Reiki to your client before the session happens, and asking for divine guidance for yourself in assisting them to the best of your ability, and remembering to trust the energy. It will take care of everything that you're not able to perceive. So your client has arrived and you spend some time visiting with them before you start the session. I have them visit in the living room with me before we go into the Reiki room. And so remembering the Gasho meditation, that's a great way to prepare yourself in advance. And once I've got the client in the Reiki room, I open up the bed kind of in a ceremonial manner. So in my Reiki room, the table that's in there is a really heavy duty big table. And I've got a nice cushion on top of the table and a flannel set of sheets so that they're in between the sheets. Just for the purpose of this demonstration, I didn't bother making the whole bed. And they'll be standing over here as they come in the door, and I'm talking to them and just visiting as I very slowly and ceremonially almost fold back the bedding. And I ask them if they're comfortable laying on their back. And I take one pillow out of the way and I help them get onto the table, have their head here, and I ask them if they want to have a pillow underneath their knees, and most people do. And I'm continuing to talk to them as I cover them up. And I am also gently stroking them, getting them accustomed to my touch. And also, as I'm doing that, I'm doing a nonchalant Bioixin scan, just sensing for whatever energy disturbances there may be in their body. And as I'm tucking them in, and oh, it feels so good to be tucked in, I'm stroking their body and I'm talking quiet and calm. And I'm letting them know that for the next hour, if the whole world revolves around them, and it's time for them to be selfish and just allow themselves to be taken care of. Whatever they need is what's most important. And I let them know that if they need to change position at any time, that's all right. If they want to talk throughout the session, that's okay. If they feel themselves starting to drift into sleep, allow yourself to sleep. And while I'm talking to them and saying those things, I'm continuing just to gently stroke their body so that I'm feeling for whatever I might feel. And then I will coach them on breathing slow, deep breaths. We may or may not have had any discussion as to whether or not they have any sort of regular meditation practice in their lives. I'd say, well, probably at least half, if not more than that, have never even tried meditation. And I'll put a hand on the top of their head and a hand on their chest. And I will invite them to close their eyes and take nice, slow, deep breaths. Really noticing how the air feels as it goes in through your nose, all the way to the bottom of your lungs. And then gently observe the warm air as it moves out of your body, and a nice rhythmic flow of in and out, in and out. And when thoughts arise, and they will, be kind to your mind. Say thank you, it's time to rest. And if your mind needs a job, give your mind the task of watching the life-giving act of breathing. Nice, slow, deep breaths. In and out. In and out. While I'm doing that, I am observing their facial muscles. I am observing the rhythm of their heart and the breathing. And as they calm down, and not every session's the same. I'm just showing you this as examples to help you build confidence and to give you a little bit extra guidance. And then I come around to the head, and I will spend a good portion of the hour at the head, easily 15 minutes, until I feel the bouncing in their head stop and calm. And while I'm doing that, again, I'm watching the rhythm of their heart, their breath, and their facial muscles, and watching for their body to more deeply relax. And I'm giving them Reiki. And I'd like to have you also utilize the Reiki symbols that you're connected to. And one of the ways that you can do that once they are to a nice relaxed state is to draw the power symbol and then motion that frequency of energy through them. You can even use kokiho, your breath, to gently blow that frequency of energy through them. And then bringing both hands to the head again. And of course, this is really quick demonstration, just to give you some, food to work with here. And then the mental emotional symbol. If they're having trouble quieting the mind, if you perceive that, or they let you know they're having trouble quieting the mind, use that mental emotional symbol, draw it over their head, spend time allowing those frequencies of energy to penetrate, permeate, and calm. And then the distance symbol. I really like using kokiho. When I'm using kokiho, sending Reiki on the breath, I am visualizing it going all the way through their physical body and through their energy body, their aura around their physical body. You can clear out that aura so quickly and easily by using kokiho. Then spend time at the head until I feel it's time to start moving on. I want you to remember to always prioritize the comfort of your own body. If you're in an uncomfortable position, then you're going to be distracted and you will not be able to clearly intuit spiritual guidance that is provided to you for yourself and for the client. One of the things I do is I use this stool on wheels, and part of the time I'll sit, I'll stand, I'll pull the stool around. Sometimes I'll get down on my knees just to stretch my back. I can sit in the stool and straddle the table with my legs, and I can reach shoulders, neck, chest, quite comfortably. And for whatever reason, I don't even know why I do this, particularly our first session, when their energy system is really out of balance, I pretty much follow the same format in that I work around clockwise, work around their body and then come back up. But I don't want to have my backside to you, so I'm just gonna go down the side that you can see me. And so once I feel like I am done where my hands can comfortably reach from this position and we're sitting down, then I will have a hand on the head again. And I may hold my hand over the throat chakra. And we're imagining the primary chakras down the center of their torso. And I'm going to be working through all of those energy centers until I feel that they're clear. But I'll also work down arms, hands love to receive Reiki, and it feels really good to hold somebody's hand and give them Reiki while they're laying on the table. I will use my hands over their face, either behind or at the side or both. Also, when I'm at their head, I will put my hands on their around their ears. I primarily use a super light touch, feather-like touch. I feel more of the sensations of the energy rather than if I have my hands full on the person. But everybody's different because Reiki works different with all of us. And so do experiment with different distances and at different locations on the body. You may use different distances or actual touch or even maybe some pressure if you feel guided to do so. Reiki around the ears feels great. From this position, you can reach the jaw, which feels really good because a lot of people grind their jaw and there's a lot of tension held in the jaw. Remember, when working around the face, that we do not touch the face. It can cause a panic, claustrophobic, anxiety type of a reaction. We do not want that to occur. Same thing with the throat. So keep your hands off the throat. And so here's the head again, and I'm working down. You can cover the crown chakra, the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the solar plexus, the sacral. Depending on the size of the body, you can stay here and you can touch quite a few of the energy centers. And if the person's small enough, you can reach across and get both sides. If people are big, then you're just going to work down one side, go around, do the other side, and you're just moving your hands and allowing the energy to guide you. The less you think and the more you feel, the more effective your session will be. And so just taking your time, much more time than I'm doing now, and being cautious and aware of not touching private parts. And the person's small enough, you can do both hips. If the person is large, then a lot of times what I will do, because I just cannot reach their hand at all, or if they're round or if they're long, then I might put a hand at an ear and move my hand as far as I can. You can use both hands, covering two energy centers at the same time. Let the energy tell you what to do. Sometimes you may put both hands anywhere you feel guided to. You're letting the energy guide you. You're the conduit for that energy. Your job is to continue to heal the healer within you, show up with a loving, willing heart to serve, and allow the spiritual beings that orchestrate Reiki to do all of the hard work. You don't need to know everything. Throughout my Reiki sessions, I am praying and I'm listening. I'm praying and I'm listening. And whenever you sense that you are having self-doubt, then remember the prayer. Thank you for taking care of everything that I am not able to perceive. Thank you for allowing me the honor of doing this work. And then just going into silence. Always remember to, I will have my eyes closed a lot during the session, and most people do. But make sure that you are continuing to monitor your client and their breathing. Most of the time, my clients will get into such a deep state of relaxation that even though they're aware of me touching them, they're aware of the music, any sounds that may be outside, their body will be so relaxed that it will mimic sleeping sounds of, kind of a snoring sound, and then they're embarrassed. I try to remember in advance to coach them on if that occurs. That's a great compliment to me because they have gotten to a state of such deep relaxation. When the mind and the body are fully relaxed, the body can heal itself faster. So just continuing to work down the body, either touching both legs at the time. Knees get an awful lot of work, like hips. Those joints get an awful lot of stress put on them. So just feeling them, you can put both hands on top of the knee, or you can cup the knee if it's comfortable without disturbing the person. And same with feet. Oh, feet need Reiki so bad. Most of the time I am able to reach from a person's hip and keep a hand on the hip, that the hip feels like it needs a lot, doing the knee at the same time and reaching down to the foot. Sometimes I'm able to reach the whole body to where I can have a hand on the shoulder and a hand on the foot. And what I am sensing for is a clear flow of their energy, and that the blockages are dissolving and the Reiki energy is filling those blockages. At any time that you feel there's a block in energy that's not easily dissipated by you holding your hands over it, you can draw any of the symbols you're connected to. Another thing that I like to use is kokiho, using the breath. And for example, here's the knee. And I will fill my mouth with those symbols, and I will cup my hands over it, and I will blow Reiki. And for some reason, I do it in a circular manner, blow in a circular manner. Usually 3 times, 2, 3, sometimes it may be more, but I will do that until I feel like the blockage has been dissolved. And remember, whenever we remove a stubborn blocked energy, we've left a void that's susceptible for negative energy or blockages to occur again. So immediately fill it up with loving Reiki energy, either by holding your hands over it or holding your hands and then also drawing any of the symbols that intuitively you feel guided to utilize. And then you've worked on down and you've gotten to the feet, and I will hold my, it's different with each person, of course, in each session, even with the same person, but it's easy to hold both hands on both feet. This is also an opportunity for me to sit down again and rest my body. And depending on the circumstances with the person, I'm not sure, can you see me the way we are here? Okay. It's easy to be able to put your hands on the bottom of their feet and feel the energy flow up through their body, from the feet, they're out. You can cup their foot. And then I would continue the other side. And when you're getting close to being done, you can do another Bioisen scan, just to notice whether or not there are any areas of their body that still have any sort of disturbance in them. And if you discover a place that needs a little bit extra love, then just spend some time with your hands there until you feel that it's balanced out. I like to spend some more time towards the end at the head. I'd like to sweep the aura with my hands 3 times, intending that any negative energy that is moved, it has evaporated out of the body and gotten into the aura, that it is swept from the body up into the heavens to be healed. And at the end of the session, you can draw some nice power symbols on their feet to ground them. Draw the symbols, put your hands and the frequencies of energy into their feet to ground them and to help them be balanced. You can, even as you're doing that, you can say, I seal this session with love and light 3 times, or any other affirmation to complete the session and to seal it. And what has evolved for me, and the way you do sessions will evolve with time and practice and repetition. And it has gotten now to where it's difficult to get people to come back to the here and now. They are so relaxed, they are in such a deep state of heavenly bliss that it's difficult to get them to come back. So what I've found really helps a lot is I repeat the process I started with. But this time I'm with more pressure. I'm rubbing down their body. I'm just stroking down their body, kind of signaling that, hey, something's happening here. You know, there's a shift in the energy. I'm doing something different than I've been doing for the last hour with more pressure. And then I will hold their one foot or both feet as I coach them to take a really deep, intentional breath, imagining that they can breathe all the way down to the tips of their toes. And I'm rubbing their toes because I'm trying to get them back into the physical realm. And I will say, as you exhale, begin to wiggle your toes, roll your ankles. Give some time for them to do that. It may take a couple of times of coaching them to do that before they move their feet. And then I'll ask them to repeat that process with their fingers and their wrists, and then with their shoulders and their neck. Reawakening your body, moving so that you can then start to feel more awake. And then sometimes I simply have to say, now slowly open your eyes, because they haven't done that yet. And then I give them a little bit of time just to kind of get their senses back within themselves. And then I will ask them if there's anything they would like to discuss. And we may not have anything to discuss, or it could be fairly lengthy, but I want to give them enough time to come back to the physical realm so that when they sit up, they're not going to fall over. They've been laying still, even though I've given them permission to move around if they need to. Most of the time, they're pretty much a corpse for the entire hour. And then to help facilitate getting them to move upwards and finishing what we're doing and get out of the Reiki room and in here for our after session conversation, then I'll ask them to lift their legs, move the pillow out from under their legs, and I will keep my hands on them as I'm not assisting them, I'm there for support as I ask them to slowly sit up. But in case, you know, they have a head rush or they're dizzy at all, I keep my hands on them. Some people are big enough that if they were to fall, there's nothing I could do, but I'm there as support, and I'm also feeling their energy field. So I have a good sense as to whether or not it's safe for them to stand. And I'll ask them to slowly stand and stand for a moment before they start to walk. And then I stay real close to them as we walk back into here. And then we have conversation. I talk to them until, and sometimes it's just idle, ramble, chit chat, until I feel confident that they can safely drive themselves home. Reiki is very much an altered state of consciousness, and I want to make sure that they are going to be cognitive and safe driving home. So I'm going to end our video now, and then we can talk some more.